which was, Steve, you lined up a series of storm drainage problems. And I said, we said as a council, give us the top 5 and we'll see where we're at and maybe we can work on it. Subsequently, it wasn't approved because I guess we had no money for it, if I remember correctly. Now, we had an interesting gentleman come up with the water meeting that I attended, and I'm not sure if everybody got the email from him.
I don't know.
This is
but
the
I
guy
think they've seen it previously.
you got a copy.
Yeah, I saw the email.
Okay,
Yeah.
could you address that, please? Just
Yeah,
so.
about, I think 3 to 4 months ago, I prepared a one-page memo of some characteristics that I use to evaluate the ditches, and most are resident complaint driven. At that time, there were 38 properties that had called, so I looked at each one individually, did a ranking based on the criteria that I have used previously. Since that time, since I did the ranking, another 8 probably called in. I haven't re-ranked them. But I created 4 categories. Category 1 being, to my eyes, the most severe, to category 4 the least. 9 properties were in category 1, 6 in category 2, 9 in 3, and 5 in category 4. That was about 3 months ago. The address you're referring to, 200 South Maple, was in the category 1, so it was 1 of 9. And at that time, I just did a concept estimate of category 1 improvements that they were done at one project. And all the ones in category 1 that they were done at once was around $450,000. If the property that you're talking about, 200 South Maple, was done and it's by itself, depending, the relative cost was part of a bigger project is $13,000 to $15,000. But it's tough to say if you bid just one project by itself, or that cost scale, kind of going back to the sign. Someone wasn't interested in fixing a sign, project is too small, it's hard to, so if you were to ask me, what does that one project cost? It's maybe 15,000, maybe 20, 25.
Steve, the question I had.
So I don't know if I went too much.
I met with the guy, he's very articulate, he was very kind, he didn't malign you or the city or anything. He just said, look, I've been on a list for a couple of years now, and I was number 4, and I've heard from no one at any time. He must have heard from you.
Yeah, he's heard from me, I think. He's been very open and honest with it, and I've been open and honest to him.
We had that situation in my neighborhood, right across the street from my house. What they did was they ran a PVC pipe, hooked it up to the sump pump, and ran it underground right into the sewer. That can't be $15,000. I know it wasn't because it was like $3,800. Why can't we solve this problem the same way?
I think part of the problem is the cost, a big part of the cost is prevailing wage rates and public improvements. A lot of a project you're talking about is probably done by a landscape company.
Probably was, yes.
And, so just
and it was wonderful.
I wouldn't debate that. Unfortunately, being city entity, we're not allowed to do public projects without the prevailing wage rate.
All right, but conceptually, you like that idea?
These projects are similar. That might, it's probably, this would be probably slightly different, but it's definitely in the ballpark of what that design would be.
Can you run a sump pump out to a sewer?
That's where it goes.
Yeah, not the sanitary
Storm
sewer, but the storm sewer.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This area does actually have some storm sewer pretty close. Correct.
If you did a grant program, which I think we kind of talked about, where the public improvements are done by the public and that we would reimburse them based on a grant program. I know we do that in our municipalities I'm at. So is that an option that we may want to consider?
I think we consider anything, especially
Yeah, I think we
cost
we proposed
$2,000-3,000.
that last spring, I believe, in one of the reports. I think maybe like a 50-50 program, or that's a possibility too.
With something like that, are there any liability issues as far as saying do it on your own or get a landscaper and creating any other issues?
You still have to go through the permit process. It's not like they just...
Right. It would have to be permitted, but, we permitted similar examples in rear yards. Residents have done a project, and I'm pretty sure their landscape company has done the
Yeah,
work.
when we were doing the road project, we did that one off Derbyshire. But,
We've issued some permits.
I would think that if we were doing a grant or a cost-sharing program, it would certainly drive somebody to get a permit,
Mhm.
you know, because that would be one of the criteria for,
And the cost sharing would be directly with the owner?
Yes.
It
And
would have nothing to do with us?
no, and what would happen, yes, they would, what we've done is you do the work, they perform, they would get approval, they would apply for the grant. We would say we'd give certain dollar amount, we'd have to come up with what their program would be. They would apply, if they're accepted, then they complete the whole work and then they submit their invoices to us for reimbursement, for whatever amount we agreed to.
Joe, we should look into that.
We have, and the kind of reverse side of that, and so that it's still under city engineer review and control, is that instead of them being reimbursed, they would just pay 50% of, suppose it's $10,000 for, to do a property, they'd pay 50%, $5,000 of it. That also might be a way to, as Steve had referenced, sometimes if you get a critical mass, you might get better pricing than individually or so. So there's ways it could be managed. It's not like some communities will have a 50-50 sidewalk replacement program or so.
And then you don't, if you do it the other way, you don't have to have prevailing wage. So then you are reducing your costs and you're paying 50% of a lower cost, so.
Have we done any of those projects that you had on your list?
No,
None of them?
no, we haven't done in the last year and a half.
So is
We
this-
did similar projects in 2014 and 13.
I don't remember. Is this a budget issue that we wrestled with and couldn't do?
I think we cut it all out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, well, let's look into this whole thing about grants. We could turn the resident over, another source besides us. I'm not sure if the budget will change in our review coming up, but
Well, this would probably be done in the spring, so we could look at it for May, for
yeah.
next year's budget.
Yeah.
Well, it's certainly a step forward from where we're at.
Yeah.
Okay.